Ugh. What's going on, guys? Jason here. Thanks for stopping by the shop today. So in this video we're going to do something a little bit different. We've never done a tool review before, but that's what we're going to do today. Now, in the process of just checking everything out and getting ready to start working on the Ultra XJ and the next phases of the YJ here, I realized that I needed a pretty special tool. I like to do things myself, so I went ahead and bought it. Now, I didn't buy an expensive one, but this video is going to be all about unboxing and checking out this Jegs plasma cutter. I've used several plasma cutters before, so there's a little bit of experience there, but I've never tried to use a Jegs one. It's 110. I'm hoping it's going to work out really well in my garage, so make sure you stick around and we'll see what we can do with it. Alright, what a pain that was. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing unboxed and check out and see what all it comes with. I had a coupon for Jegs, so I got a really good deal on this thing. I don't really need it to do a lot. I just needed to make some certain cuts. Certain things are just a pain if you constantly try to do them with a cut-off wheel and have sparks flying in your face. So hopefully this thing will be worth what it does. So let's go ahead and unpack her and check her out here. So this appears to be the torch head and the cable. Here is our adapter. This also runs off 220, by the way, so if you do end up upgrading your garage or something in the future, then you can always use this right here. Which I might end up upgrading mine in the future, just don't know. But this does run off 110 or 220, so we will be using this adapter right here. And there's the machine itself. They got a lot of small parts packed in here, just kind of haphazardly. Let's see what we got here. This looks to be a shield of some sort. We will not worry about that yet. We will leave that in there. And we also have the ground electrode and looks to be a brush here. So we will go ahead and get this checked out. Now here's the meat and potatoes of the unit right here. And the finish on it looks pretty good. It doesn't look all shoddy or anything. It's got decent weight to it. Doesn't seem to be too bad. We're going to go ahead and check the instructions here and see what the running requirements are for this. I know it's going to use some air input, but I'm not sure what. So we're going to go ahead and read this. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back with you. Alright guys, so looking at this right here, air requirements are going to be 60 to 70 psi. Input 110 or 220. It's got a 60% duty cycle at either 30 or 40 amps. Weight is 12 kilograms, which is about 25 pounds. Output voltage 96 VDC. And amp output range is 20 to 40 amps. Everything here is self-explanatory. Not a big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull this out front real quick and get a couple pieces of metal set up, and we will see what we can do. I'll be right back with you. All right guys, so right now I'm in the process of setting this plasma cutter up. I'll go ahead and wipe my face here. It's pretty hot out here. But one of the first things I did is I came over here and I went ahead and knocked down my pressure on my air compressor down to 70 psi output. It's more like 65 psi output. So we went ahead and got that adjusted. Then I went ahead and got the unit itself actually plugged in. I'm going to be cutting over here on this table just to kind of check stuff out, get a little bit out of the way. But I got a couple different thicknesses of metal here that I'm going to try, from 1/4 inch, 3/16, and just some regular old sheet metal here. So we're going to try to cut all 3 of these and see what they do. Right now I'm going to go ahead and get this set up the rest of the way and see what we can do with it. Coming over here to the table, we have got, this is our brush. This appears to be something to hang the handle with. We're going to go ahead and attach the ground electrode real fast. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to come over here. We're going to check out our air hose and our cutting head. So holding this cutting head in my hand, it seems to be pretty decent quality. I mean, it doesn't feel like chintzy or anything like that. So that's good. But I was just sitting here looking, and I got to try to figure out how I'm going to get the air hooked into the back. So I'm going to go ahead and see what I can do about getting one of the chucks for my air hose to go in there. First, I'm going to go ahead and hook this up on the front side. All right, so we have got the actual head itself hooked up, and we got the ground hooked up. Now we got to hook up some air to it. I'm gonna go over here and check in my air drawer. And yep, should have some extra stuff in here. That's internal thread, so we're just gonna go ahead and grab one of these and make it work. Get some sealing tape. Make sure this is the right thread before we go ahead and get it locked in, which it is. So, but we've got our air attachment done. So the next thing to do, boys and girls, is to go ahead and see if this thing's going to cut metal. Now, I'm assuming that it's going to do just fine. We're going to start with some thinner stuff and then move on to some thicker stuff. Go ahead and get some air pulled down and hooked up. Let's see what we can do. So that's a little bit concerning. The regulator here, the ring isn't set on very good. So we'll go ahead and adjust that. Hopefully that doesn't affect anything, which I can't imagine it will. Very simple push knob action here to regulate the air pressure. So we're gonna go to about, well, I don't know, 50, 60. We're gonna set the power up here and see what we got. MIG gloves, awesome. So let's go ahead and try to do another cut or two on this piece of metal. I don't want to cut too much of this sheet metal out because this is good metal, but to work and to test this thing out, this will be great. So this actually does a far superior job than I expected it to. It cuts smooth and clean through this thinner type sheet metal. I do have to build myself a table here soon because I'm just cutting on wood right now. But this thing so far is absolutely smooth and dead on. So far this has been a super purchase. Now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to a little bit thicker metal. We're going to go up to this 3/16 and see what we can do here. So let me just show you this, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. Now through this thicker metal, it did leave a little bit of slag, but that's a pretty substantial piece of metal. You can cut some pretty good stuff with this. Once again, just running off the 110 power. There was a little bit of slag that we had to break off, but it still cut it. It still cut it in a good, even, smooth line and a smooth motion. I might have went a little bit too fast for the machine, but I'm still learning it. So now let's go ahead and go up to our final thickness. As you can see, this is a pretty substantial piece of angle iron here. We'll go ahead and clean a little bit of this off. I'm not sure if it's going to make it through this or not. So I have went ahead and turned up the machine as high as it'll go. So far, guys, it is doing a fantastic job of removing metal here. I'm going to go ahead and make one more little notch cut, and we'll see if we can pull this little square of steel out. So there you have it, guys. It'll cut all the way through that as well. So far, I don't know about durability, but this thing it's impressed me so far. It's way easier to set up than an oxy torch. I'm only running it off a Harbor Freight air compressor. I'm running it off my regular garage, power. And it has managed to not only cut smaller sheet metal, this thickness here, all the way up to like big heavy 3/16 stuff. So, and it's done fine. I mean, it's cut all of them exactly how it was supposed to. I think I'm going to get a lot of good use out of this tool. It seems to start up fine. It doesn't really sputter too much. You do need to make sure that you start up off your workpiece. I wish it had a standoff cup, but it doesn't have a standoff cup, so I'm going to have to see what I can do about getting one of those. It comes with a couple extra tips and an extra ceramic insulator, which is awesome. The button, I'm not too 100% keen on the button. I hope it's robust and it lasts. It doesn't feel too bad, but it just, it's kind of small, and stuff like this in industrial nature, you think about, you worry about. It does have, after purge, so it does continue to blow air for a minute. I do have a air dryer on my air compressor, so I'm sure that running this without one, you'll probably need one. But other than that, it seems pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and mess around here with a couple more pieces of metal, and then we'll meet up back over inside the shop in a minute. Alright guys, so my initial impressions of this small little Cut-40 from Jegs is absolutely awesome. This little thing does a great job, cut through everything that I needed it to cut through today, did a lot of good testing on it, cut a lot of good stuff up. Now, make sure that you keep your air dry with this thing, and it should last quite a long time. I'm looking forward to actually getting my bench over here set up and throwing my smaller Lincoln Electric MiG up here and this up here and putting the metal top in and grounding them both. That way I can just keep them stationary. But this thing is fantastic value for money. I think I'm going to get a lot of good use out of it. So yes, 100% highly recommended. 5 stars. Thanks Jegs for making a affordable plasma cutter. I can't speak to durability yet. I will let you guys know further on down in the future about that, but this is a small time shop. We don't do a lot. So as long as this thing continues to cut like it did today, it's more than going to suit our needs. So we're going to get a lot of good stuff done with this. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I hope you liked this first small time tool review. We are going to be coming back on the YJ project very soon. Next episode is going to be on the engine. So we're going to go ahead and start cleaning up and tearing down our diesel engine. I do have all the adapters for it now. So the next few episodes will actually be us putting the engine in the frame and getting everything set. So we got the tools to do it and everything that we need to do it now. Super excited. It's time to start moving forward. Guys, thanks so much for stopping by. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I did want to say one thing about this little face mask that they give you here to help out when you're cutting. Now, if you don't have a welding mask or anything like that, make sure you use this. But if you do, this thing's garbage. It's plastic. It's chintzy. It'll keep you from burning your eyes, sure, but you can go down to Harbor Freight and get yourself a set of dark green goggles for $3 or $4 and kind of just ditch this thing. I mean, you're losing one of your hands to kind of hold this up. So Jegs, if you're watching, thanks for the effort. I really appreciate you making it safe no matter what. But guys, go ahead and just get yourself a cheap pair of goggles. That being said, we'll see you next time. Take care.